traveling across the border to Mexico to go get some dental work done. I'm admittedly a little nervous, but I do think that I'm in good hands. Okay, giraffe making fun of my vacation. That was the nicest way to say that I went to Mexico to get dental surgery. It did kind of feel like a vacation. I took time off work, I hopped on a flight, hung out with my grandma, and we had a bunch of dentist appointments. It wasn't as crazy as Disney World, I'll say that.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. We're here on the border. I'm just excited to be able to get what I need done for a fraction of the cost that it would be in the US. Thank you for your thoughts, helicopter. I saw the dentist yesterday and the day before. We haven't really done anything yet. I thought I had some cavities, but the dentist checked me out today for literally so long and was like, no, you're good on cavities. So I'm actually just gonna have surgery tomorrow. I'm admittedly a little nervous, but I do think that I'm in good hands. We are gonna park in America, walk across the border, get our appointments done, probably drink a little, and then go to our hotels. I'm nervous, but I like the doctor. He's so nice and gentle and kind and very good at explaining everything, so I feel like I know what's going on. What am I bringing to Mexico? This is a purse I've been using. I do take this patch off while going through border control. I put it in the bag and then I put it back on the bag. I don't want to cause problems. It's like a crossbody. I also got this hat a couple days ago in Mexico. Little organizing pouches. I freaking love this thing. Keychain check, hand sanitizer, a whistle, a lighter. I was at a lot of dentist appointments, so I did bring a book. This is my book sleeve. A case of inspiration. All this fits in this bag, except for I do have to carry the book. My snackies. And when I was going through border security, entering Mexico, he looked at this, felt around, opened it up, put his little fingies inside, just like this, and went. And so now I'm a little bit too scared to eat these. I don't know. But if I get desperate, I have crunchy snack. I haven't had a chance to change out of my Christmas time wallet and passport. Can't forget chopsticks, sunglasses, or sunscreen. I've got a small little sunburn growing. My medicine wipes and some headphones. Okay, actually, side note, I did bring one of these to Mexico and they threw it away. They're prohibited. So if you are bringing these, just know that they will attempt to throw them away. And a lot of times they don't look through your bag, but the one time that you have that on you, they're gonna be opening your snacks and sniffing them like they did mine. So just be careful. I made it back to America with some sutures. I'm not gonna show you guys because it's so painful, but honestly, the whole experience went really well. I got 1,700 shots of Novocaine, I swear, no exaggeration. Feel a goddamn thing. And you know what they did too? They shot me up with Novocaine and then they instantly started cleaning my teeth. So by the time that I got my gums grafted, I couldn't feel a fucking thing. And I think that really helped. Fragile, that I just can't really talk that much or drink from a straw or eat crunchy foods or salty foods. There's a bunch of food restrictions. No alcohol, too easy for me. And we'll see how the healing goes. So far, the swelling went down almost instantly. I still feel a little bit in my jaw, but I felt like I was fresh out of lip filler when I got done with surgery. Minor surgery. Now I feel almost like you can't tell. So, feeling good. Trying not to talk too much. I'll see you guys when I get home.
I wish you bluebirds in the spring. Hello gamers, I'm River, and today we are hanging out. I recently went to Mexico to get dental surgery done on these bottom teeth. I had a really severe gum recession and I needed a graft placed across these bottom teeth. One was like mainly affected, but the other like 4 right here definitely had some small issues, so we were trying to kind of get all of it at once. So essentially, I ended up having a lot more extensive work done than I anticipated. I lost track after the doctor whipped 4 stitches in place faster than the speed of light in like 5 seconds, and the whole procedure probably took like 45 minutes to an hour. So there was a lot of suturing going on, just basically this whole front of my face. Normally they would take it from the roof of your mouth and just kind of suture it on, but I had lab tissue sutured on. I'm pretty sure that the flap, I forget what it's called, the flap right here on your lip that attaches your lips to your gums, I'm pretty sure it's gone. I don't know. But yeah, they did a lot of suturing and and they were so nice. They were so kind. It was honestly a wonderful experience. Some of the best bedside manner I've ever had. Never shown pictures of it because honestly, I was so self-conscious about it. I hid it forever. I hid it and everyone was like, why are you getting gum surgery? You have perfect teeth. And I was like, thank you. Social media is fake. I do everything I can to make it look like I have perfect teeth. I really hate the fact that my teeth are like really honestly struggling. They struggling, but we're trying to keep it together. No dentist in America would ever tell me like why it was happening, what was wrong. They were like, what'd you do? And I was like, I didn't like do anything. I don't know what it could be. The dentist in Mexico, both doctors that I talked to independently, immediately were like, oh, you had orthodontics, didn't you? And I was like, oh yeah, that's most likely what it's from. And they described how when they shift the teeth for orthodontics, the gums are kind of, encasing the tooth. Let me try and get an example here. So the gums encase the tooth, right? And so sometimes the way that they move the tooth, they inadvertently push it forward like this. And so basically it can thin the gums, life happens and they just kind of wither away because there's not enough gum tissue where there once was a lot of gum tissue. So it was from braces? Yeah, it was from braces. I had Invisalign for like 3 years. It was so long. I was quoted for that whole surgery $3,500 to $4,500, and that would not include a cleaning that would have been required in order for me to do the surgery. They quoted me $600 to $800 for the cleaning. They also wanted to fill a couple of cavities. That was gonna be like another $1,000, and then if I wanted to be anesthetized during it, then that was gonna be like another $1,500 to $2,000. So all in all, I was looking at like kind of like bare minimum, maybe like $5,000 at least. I got away with the entire surgery, everything that I needed, the cleaning. They didn't find any cavities. In Mexico, I did the whole entire thing for $470 USD. I just paid cash. $470. And I did not pay cash. My grandma was a gift for me. Mexico is dangerous. There are parts of Mexico that can be dangerous, just like there's parts of America that are dangerous. Like I wouldn't recommend walking around like, I'm trying to think of a place, I don't know, Compton by yourself if you don't know the neighborhoods and you don't know where you're going and you're just alone. You know what I mean? Like anywhere can be dangerous, but I knew where I was going. This place is definitely not dangerous. There are so many border towns. The whole town exists around the funnel of America's immigration exit, where the whole town is just dental offices. The whole town. You can have your choice. And a lot of them are licensed to practice in the US, maybe even have practices also in the US. This town specialized in pharmaceuticals. So if they want cheap drugs, if they want dental work, or if they need glasses, like optometry. I saw a lot of LASIK too. So if you want like LASIK eye surgery, that kind of stuff. And every other business was either a dental office, an optometrist, or a pharmacy. There was nothing else there. There was like one restaurant or maybe two, you know, there was like a little cafe. Everything is in English too. I will say 80% of this town was American tourist. The other 20% of the town was servicing the American tourists. You know, they're like working there. Does Mexican food in Mexico taste like Mexican food in the US? The restaurants that I went to were very Americanized. The whole menu is in English. All of the food is very, I think, influenced by American taste. But what I had every single day, because I'm boring like that, was, I think it was just called tortilla soup, chicken tortilla soup, but it was like a chicken bone broth. They give you a bowl of avocado tortilla chips that were, they tasted homemade and they looked homemade. And they give you like a pitcher of the broth that you pour into the soup so that your chips don't get crunchy while they bring it out to you. And it was delicious and very, very touristy and like flourishy, because you have like a bowl of veggies and then they come by and pour your soup, and it's delicious. And I wore Korean sunscreen from the Joseon Beauty by Joseon. Oh, it was so nice and it worked so well. These, I've really been trying to like quit. I bought nicotine patches because I was like, if I'm not smoking, maybe that will help. I was allergic to the patches, so that was annoying. I want a Pokemon cam too. One of these days. I spilled the whole pack on the floor. It just flew. Oh, what is that? Oh, yo, that's cool. I'll name quad sire. I don't like it too. Rainbow is anything in my pocket. You guys want to no more? Reverse hollow scyther. We have to stick with it. Reverse hollow Pidgey. And Greedent EX. Yo. They might not look the most beautiful in the binder, but they're gonna slap on the battlefield, if you know what I mean. How's the mouth? The mouth is doing better. I have made so much progress this last week. It takes a long time to regain blood flow, so they suture on essentially dead but ready to become alive flesh. And you kind of wait for it to like come back to life, and the process of that takes a long time, a very long time, and I don't think I was ready. I think to be 80 to 90% healed, it takes 6 weeks. Fully integrated into your mouth, it takes a very long time. At first I was like very nervous. I didn't have a lot of gums. Now I'm feeling a lot better and it's doing a lot better. I had recently though a significant amount of gum growth. As long as I'm careful, I'm able to talk a lot more. I'm able to eat a lot more recently too, which is cool.
It has been 3 weeks as of yesterday, and I finally started to eat some real food and chew. I'm still not biting into stuff, so I cut everything into these really small bits. I'm finally eating solid food again. Also, these strawberries are so good.
But even you can see like the tops right here peeking out. That's all new. That's all gum growth. And I didn't really see basically any significant gum growth really at all until like last week. Hydration. Our first issue was, of course, my grandma not having her passport. So we parked on the America side. It only took us like 5 to 10 minutes to go through the security process. They did throw away my, honestly heartbroken. I was like, my grandma forgot her passport. You need a passport to cross the border. I feel like that's pretty common knowledge. Me, I call myself white passing. I feel like I look pretty white. I was nervous. My grandma is very, very white. Very, very white lady. She was fine. How well is your Spanish? Terrible. But I am so embarrassed about my accent that I never speak, which means that my accent is so terrible because I never speak it. I never speak the language, so I don't practice. I don't know how she made it across the border. We had to cross the border every single day that we needed an appointment. And I guess white lady privilege is being able to pull up an appointment card, the business card of a dentist, and use that as your passport. She was with 2 passported American citizens, so I feel like that was in her favor. She looked like an American citizen. That was definitely in her favor. Mexico tried to deny her entry a couple of times, and she didn't like bully them. She's this tall. I'm short. She's this tall. So we're not bullying anyone, you know what I mean? We're small people. But she was just kind of like, I have an dentist appointment. I need to get across. I'm sorry. I have a passport, just not on me. And they just were like, all right, fine. Next time, bring your passport. I was just like, okay. And she did that every day. Every day. And then trying to get back into the US. I was so scared about that. How do you get back into the US? You don't have a passport. You don't have proof of citizenship. She has like a credit card. She has like a public library card. She has her bar ID. I don't know. The US didn't even blink. They didn't even blink. They didn't say anything. They just let her back in. They were just like, are you a citizen? She was like, yep. And they were like, sounds good. Good deal. Yeah, it checks out. You look like an American tourist to me. I don't know. I'm sure they do other things too, because they like take your picture and scan your ID and shit, but I really thought that she would need a passport. I mean, technically you do. I don't recommend this. Don't try this at home. The actual border story though is what happens immediately after that. When we leave for the particular crossing that I was at, it is single file line, one at a time. They have you wait in Mexico. They buzz like a doorbell, and then one person can go in at a time. Like they might look through your purse a little bit. They might chat with you a little bit about whatever. The line was super long. Going back home took almost 40 minutes because the line was stopped for like 30 minutes and I don't know why. And now I'm suspicious why. I get to the front of the line. I wanted my grandma to go first because if she had any issues not getting entry, I wanted to be immediately after her. So I would either see her and be like, okay, cool, she made it, we're good, we can continue on, or no, that they denied her entry back into America. 30 seconds after she walks in, she's still zipping her purse back up, putting her ID away. They've beeped me in. So I knew immediately. I'm like, oh, they took two looks at her and were like, tourist, you're good. And I'm carrying, so I have a library book with me. Hardback, it's pretty thick. It's like clearly from the library, like it has like the, you know, the library stuff. I'm like carrying it kind of like just like in my hands. This dude, the border control officer, he scans my ID, takes my picture, and starts asking 21 questions about my book. At first, I thought he was making like a little small talk, like just chatting. It was just clearly obvious after like 5 minutes of conversation, after like 2 minutes of conversation, that he did not know anything about fantasy books. Because he was like, what is your book about? And I was like, oh, it's like a fantasy book. You know, like royalty, swords, magic, that kind of stuff. And you could tell he was like, is it earth-based? And at first I thought he was like going somewhere, like he was like some fantasy nerd. Because, you know, Game of Thrones is not based on Earth. It's like its own map, you know? And then I was like, oh, okay. No, it is not Earth-based. It is its own unique world with its own history. And he was like, oh, what time period is the book in? I've forgotten every page I've ever read about this book. Swords, medieval swords and sword fighting, you know, like pre-technology. I don't know, it's not really medieval because it's not Earth-based, but anyways, he just asked me the weirdest fucking questions. He was like so confused about what I meant by medieval. I don't know, there's sword fighting. And then he goes, so what are you doing in Mexico? Like, why are we playing 21 questions about my book? That was so weird. He full on sat and talked to me and stopped the line. And then, so what are you doing in Mexico? Oh, I'm getting dental work done. What kind of dental work? You don't look like you need any dental work. Do you want to hear what surgery I'm having? Do you want to hear what I had for breakfast? Do you want to hear the last time I pooped? Like, what else can I tell you, sir? Do you want to know more? And so Getting so annoyed at this point. This is the first date I've ever been on. And I'm standing the whole time while you're sitting. This is so rude and disrespectful. I'm just kidding. No, the best part. I'm looking at this guy, right? And in all the government federal office buildings, they always put a picture of the current administration, which in this case is Trump. And the current portrait that is posted in the government offices is like, wait, I got this. It's like the one, you know what I'm talking about? Wait, I don't know if I can make the face. This one, you know what I'm talking about. You know the picture. I'm gonna put it side by side. I'm making eye contact with this guy who's quizzing me about my book and about what I'm doing in Mexico and what surgery I'm getting. And in this whole 10-minute conversation, I cannot stop looking directly behind him. So it's like him and the portrait, him just perfectly placed to where it was like right above his shoulder. This is making me sweat. If that was the purpose of the positioning, I don't think it was. It looked like it was center on the wall, but the way that I was angled and the way that the dude was sitting, it framed up perfectly right behind him. And so I felt like I was talking to both of them. It made me even more nervous. All right, I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for hanging out. Spread some love, some positivity. Bye. Where is it? Can I end? Okay. All right. Bye, everyone.